Use artificial intelligence and Optastats to build your new squad for the new season. Analyse the highest owned players and most popular starting squad currently entered into the FPL. Upload your squad at fantasyfootballfix.com now to improve your FPL performance. Click the link below or head over to fantasyfootballfix.com to get started.
Why are good players not giving us points? And I believe there's something else similar. Why is every one of my decisions a terrible one? So we've got that from Dabuka, and Chandran Kant. To be honest, I think it's very unlucky. Like, if you look at, it depends who you're considering good players. If you're looking at Sterling, Salah, Mane, they've been getting points. It's just not what we've hoped for. Also, because they are so expensive, you'd be expecting them to get enough points that when you put the captaincy armband on them, that the points are significant. Then as far as cheaper players, I suppose it's probably people missing the points. We're getting the data and we're getting on players after they've had a good game week. And that means we end up with bad game weeks more regularly because we're taking people out who then could potentially score points. We're putting people in who have scored the points and then are naturally going to have a game or two where they don't score a goal or assist, because not even the best strikers in the world score a goal and get an assist every single game. But you have to remember and look at around a lot of people that probably play this competitively are getting bad game weeks recently. There hasn't been really high scores by most of the people that I'm aware of their teams. That means the people that maybe aren't as embedded in this community and maybe aren't as competitive, maybe making decisions a different way for their favourite players, just looking at fixtures and not looking at stats, all that kind of stuff. Those type of players and players that have picked their team at the beginning and not touched it are probably having better game weeks when we're having bad ones, the ones of us that are continuously looking at the stats and looking at the fixtures. So that is probably why right now we are having bad game weeks and making what seems like bad decisions, even though the stats probably back up your decisions, apart from the actual goals and assists and clean sheets, which, again, I am not getting many clean sheets. It seems really hard to read this season. So hopefully that will turn around. Hopefully it will change. It may not. We may have a whole season where the obvious isn't actually obvious, and the fact that we're chopping and changing our sides, chasing the points, means we're always missing. It is possible. It's a game of skill and luck. We're trying to guess, like someone that's gambling, what will happen each game week, and no one is God. No one can predict it 100%. We can do our best to put the odds in our favour, which is generally what you're trying to do with all this information that you might take in for FPL, and hopefully that puts you in good stead. Dabuka also asks, right, Digne, keep or flip? Got 2 free transfers and had intended to ship out, but have problems elsewhere if he's worth keeping. So, having watched that Everton-West Ham game, first of all I want to say West Ham were spineless. There did not seem to be any fight in that West Ham side, which was very, very disappointing. Because their performance was so bad, there's the potential that Everton looked good because West Ham was so bad. Now, Everton did look a lot better. There was some definite positives from that game. Gomez looks very important for that side as far as creating chances and running that midfield. Tom Davies looked a lot better than I have seen him look before. Sidibe looked like a potential option as well. Digne was getting further forward. Seemed like he had players that could actually score a goal for once, which could benefit him. Iwobi looked good in that role just behind a striker. Richarlison, I still prefer him out wide, but he didn't look terrible up front. Theo Walcott looked good. Sigurdsson came on off the bench and scored a great goal. So there's definitely things we could take away from that game and put it in a box where we're like, okay, maybe keep an eye on that, because I'm still of the opinion that it could be that West Ham was so bad that you ended up getting a good result from Everton. I could be wrong. I'm not always right, trust me. I'm often very wrong. Just look at my rank this season. But if I was on Digne and I hadn't taken him out yet and I wasn't wildcarding, I would look elsewhere. I think there's probably, you're likely to have more pressing matters than Digne. If we have a look at Digne's up and coming fixtures, because we have to remember Digne right now is second for chance creation, which I'll confirm in a second. Brighton have Albion next. Maybe you don't need to get him in this week. Spurs, who knows what Spurs are going to show up. Spurs are a side I want to talk about. Southampton, Norwich. Again, you'd think Everton could do something in those fixtures. I mean, then after Gameweek 14, you might want to jump off for a little bit. But who knows? Everton did have bad fixtures at the end of last season and then really performed very well at the end of last season, getting points, and a lot of people had dropped their defenders, especially Digne. So I would say Digne probably isn't one you need to jump off straight away. If we go into Fantasy Football Fix, who is a sponsor of the channel, please do go check them out. They are a great site for all of your information, like fixture analyzer, like stats, where I've built, as you can see on the screen right now, my own stats tables. I've got defenders, I've got goalkeepers, midfielders, forwards. I've also got by price range, and I've also just got the Wildcard project, which was something I tried, but probably going to go on the back burner just because time-wise I'm starting to struggle for time. It's around Christmas. Work gets a bit more difficult around this time of year. The kids are taking up more of my time, so we might go to this kind of format a little bit more. But enough about me and a bit more about defenders. So Digne right now. Okay, we get there eventually. So 42 points to 41. So although Alexander-Arnold has risen in price and Robertson has dropped in price, you can see a significant, well, not a significant difference in their points. Both have 3 assists. Alexander has the 1 goal, same clean sheets, very similar amount of shots. In fact, those underlying stats are quite similar. Attempted assists is where Alexander-Arnold is a lot higher, and expected assists is a lot higher as well, but Robertson gets more bonus points. But anyway, if we look at chance creation, because it was Digne we were going to talk about. Attempted assists, Digne is second, only to Trent Alexander-Arnold with 21. Assists resulting in shots on target, 15. That's the same as Trent. Expected assists slightly lower, so he's not creating as good chances as Alexander-Arnold is, but he's the second best defender for it. I'm surprised to see Young there. I don't suggest going for Young. He's not got an assist or a clean sheet. He's created 16 chances with 7 being on target. That's the same as Robertson, which is surprising. And then Rico, 13 at 4.2 million. I don't think you can go wrong with Rico as a bench player when he has this assist potential. And also goes and grabs himself a clean sheet when no one's expecting it. So 24 people watching, which is slightly better than earlier. So thank you for joining the stream. So for the person who asked about Digne, I would definitely keep him for Gameweek 10 because the fixture is decent enough that he could get a return for Debuka. So don't get rid of Digne just yet.
Said I got this, none of this radio pop shit. I dropped this, turning back the clock to rock shit. I cop it, said knock knock, I'm on this. I'm hot bitch, like a hot bitch, it's tough. I'm locked in, I got this, radio drop this. Hot shit, just watch this, I fucking promise. Troll it.